Hello, guys. Our story of today is the man who found meaning in the darkest place on earth. Imagine having everything taken away from you: your home, your job, your family, your freedom. Almost everyone will lose hope, but one man discovered something powerful in the middle of suffering. He realized that even when everything is taken from a person, there is still one thing that cannot be stolen: the ability to choose how to respond. This is the story of Viktor Frankl, the man who found meaning in one of the darkest periods in human history. Viktor Frankl was born in 1905 in Vienna. From a young age, he was fascinated by psychology and the human mind. While other children were playing games, Viktor was asking for difficult questions. Why do people suffer? What gives life meaning? What motivates people to keep going when life becomes difficult? These questions will eventually define his entire life. By his 20s, Frank had become a respected psychiatrist. He believed that the search for meaning was one of the strongest human motivations. At the time, many experts disagreed with him. But soon, history will put his ideas to the ultimate test. In 1939, World War II began. As Nazi Germany expanded across Europe, millions of people found themselves in danger. Because Viktor was Jewish, he became a target of Nazi persecution. In 1942, he and his family were deported. They were sent to concentration camps. The life he had built disappeared almost overnight. Everything changed. When Viktor arrived at the camp, prisoners lost almost everything they owned: their clothes, their personal belongings, even their names were often replaced with numbers. The goal was simple: to strip people of their identity, to make them feel powerless. For many prisoners, hope disappeared quickly. Every day was filled with hunger, fear, exhaustion, and uncertainty. Death was everywhere. No one knew whether they would survive another week, or even another day. One of the hardest moments of Viktor was losing his family. Many of his loved ones did not survive the war. The people he cared about most were suddenly gone. Yet, despite this overwhelming loss, he continued observing something remarkable. He noticed that prisoners react differently to suffering. Some give up completely. Others somehow found the strength to continue. Why? What made the difference? This question became an obsession. Frank began paying attention to the people who survived mentally, not just physically. He discovered that those who had a reason to keep living often endured longer. Some dream of seeing their families again. Others want to finish important work. Some simply refuse to let their captors destroy the spirit. According to Frank, meaning became a form of survival. The prisoners who could find purpose often had more strength to endure suffering. This observation would later become the foundation of his life work. During his imprisonment, Viktor imagined himself giving lectures in the future. He pictured standing in front of students and explaining what he had learned. It may sound strange. Why would someone trapped in a concentration camp think about future lectures? Because it gave him hope. It gave him something to live for. By imagining a future beyond the suffering, he created a reason to survive in the present. Years later, the war finally ended. The camps were liberated. Again, incredible odds. Viktor Frankl survived, but survival came at terrible cost. Most of his family had died. The world he knew was gone. He had every reason to become bitter, every reason to lose faith in humanity. Yet, he chose a different path. After the war, Frank returned to Vienna. There, he began writing about his experiences. In just a few days, he completed a manuscript that will eventually become one of the most influential books ever written. The book was called Man's Search for Meaning. In it, Frank described not only the horrors he witnessed, but also the lessons he learned about human resilience. The book spread around the world. Millions of people read it. Its message was simple but powerful. Life always has meaning, even during suffering. Frank developed a psychological approach called logotherapy. Unlike many other theories, logotherapy focused on purpose. Frank believed that people are driven by a desire to find meaning in their lives. Money can help, success can help, comfort can help, but meaning is what truly keeps people moving forward. According to Frank, even difficult experience can have meaning if we choose how to respond them. One of his most famous ideas was this: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. It's a lesson that remains relevant today. Everyone faces setbacks, failures, losses, disappointments, but Frank's story reminds us that our response to those challenges matters. Today, decades after his death, people still read his books and discuss his ideas. His story isn't just about surviving a terrible period of story. It's about something much bigger. It's about the human ability to find purpose even when circumstances seem impossible. Because according to Viktor Frank, happiness isn't something we chase directly. It often becomes as a result of having a meaningful reason to live. And perhaps that's why his history continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Not because he escaped suffering, but because he rediscovered how to find meaning within it. And that lesson may be more valuable today than ever before. Thanks guys for listening and hope you subscribe. Bye.